There is a yellow stain at the bottom of your bathtub that has survived 6 months of Saturday mornings. You have scrubbed it. You have soaked it in foam cleaner. You have let the bleach spray sit for 10 minutes the way the label told you to. You rinsed. You dried. You looked. And it was still there. Maybe slightly brighter from the wet, and then exactly as yellow as before once it dried. You bought the next product. Same result. You have started to believe the stain is simply part of the tub now. The way a scar becomes part of skin. Something permanent that you learn to live with. I want to tell you something that is going to make those 6 months feel like a waste of money, because they were. Not because you did not try hard enough, because the thing you were using to fight the stain and the thing causing the stain are on the same side, the scrubbing, the foam, the bleach, every one of them. Working against you, the fix costs under $2 and takes no physical effort at all. I am going to show you exactly what it is and why it works, and by the end of this, you're going to be quietly angry about how simple it turns out to be. My name is Kenji Ito. The credential I bring to this is 9 years spent doing building maintenance and surface restoration under a master tradesman who specialized in old materials, worn enamel, aged tile, stone, that had seen 50 years of hard water and bad cleaning. He was not a patient teacher. He showed you once, and if you reached for the wrong thing twice, you heard about it in a way you remembered. In 9 years under him, and the years of independent work since, I have not had a mineral stain beat me. Not once. I have walked into bathrooms that the tenant had been scrubbing for a year and cleared the stain in an afternoon without breaking a sweat or spending more than $2 on materials. Here is what should bother you. The product that does this has been sitting on a hardware store shelf, in plain sight, the entire time. Nobody pointed you toward it, because nobody profits from you finding it. The products that get shelf space, advertising, and a prominent spot in the cleaning aisle are the ones that require you to come back next month. The $2 fix does not. So, nobody talks about it. By the end of this, you will know what the stain actually is, why every spray you have tried was chemically incapable of touching it, and exactly how to remove it this weekend with something that costs less than a cup of coffee. Start with what most people get wrong, because if you do not understand this first part, the rest will not matter. That yellow stain is not dirt. Stay with me on that, because I know it looks like dirt. It is in a place where dirty water collects, and every instinct you have says scrub it like dirt. But it is mineral. Specifically, it is calcium and magnesium. The same compounds dissolved in your tap water, left behind in a thin crystalline layer every time water sits in that tub and slowly evaporates. Every drip from the faucet that dries slowly. Every shallow puddle around the drain after the water goes down. The water leaves. The minerals stay, and they do not stay loosely. They bond to the surface in a crystalline structure that forms as the dissolved concentration rises past saturation point. That structure is hard. It grips. Now here is what the foam cleaner does to mineral deposit. Nothing. Foam cleaners and bleach sprays are formulated to break down organic matter. Soap scum, body oils, mildew, bacteria. Those are organic. Mineral is not organic. Bleach does not react with calcium carbonate the way it reacts with a mold stain. The chemistry is simply pointed in the wrong direction. You are using a tool that works perfectly well on a different problem and expecting it to work on this one. It does one thing only. And that one thing is lie to you. It looks like a cleaning product. It smells like a cleaning product. The stain does not move. And then the scrubbing. I want you to hold this thought, because I will come back to it, and it matters more than it seems right now. The harder you scrub that yellow stain, the more permanent you are making it. That is not a paradox or a figure of speech. I will show you the mechanics of why in the next section. For now, keep it in the back of your mind. The effort that felt like progress was working against you. Every session with the brush was making the next session harder. The convenience generation looks at a stain and reaches for force, more product, harder scrubbing, a brush with stiffer bristles. It feels like the correct response because we are used to problems that respond to effort. This problem does not respond to effort. It responds to chemistry, and you have been applying the wrong chemistry at high force, which is a reliable way to make things worse. That is the trap. It is quiet. It is expensive in the long run, and almost nobody tells you about it because the people selling you the brushes and the sprays have no reason to. Here is the rule my master stated once in the flat voice he used when he did not plan to repeat himself. You cannot scrub chemistry. You have to reverse it. I did not fully understand what he meant for roughly 6 months. Then I did, and the understanding has saved me more time and more money than I can calculate. Calcium carbonate, which is the primary compound in hard water scale, is alkaline. Its pH sits above 8. It is a base. It forms a crystalline structure during evaporation as dissolved minerals reach saturation and precipitate out of solution onto whatever surface the water was sitting on. That structure is tight. It is not soft material. It does not lift mechanically, which is the precise reason the scrub brush does not work. Mechanical force against a crystalline mineral bond is mostly wasted energy. You scratch the surface around the stain. The stain itself holds, but here's the chemistry that changes everything. Calcium carbonate dissolves readily in acid. Not strong acid, mild acid. The reaction is straightforward. The acid donates a hydrogen ion, the carbonate accepts it, and what was a hard mineral crystal becomes a water-soluble compound that you can wipe off a surface with a damp cloth. No pressure, no heat, no abrasion. Just the correct pH given enough contact time to work through the deposit layer by layer. This is not folk knowledge. Industrial descaling operations use exactly this principle. Boilers, cooling tower pipes, heat exchangers. The engineers who maintain those systems do not scrub them. They circulate a mild acid solution and let contact time dissolve the scale. The chemistry is identical, whether the surface is a large industrial component or the bottom of a pressed steel bathtub. The scale is the same compound. The solution is the same approach. Now pay off what I told you in the previous section. The reason scrubbing makes the stain permanent is not only the surface scratching, though that matters. It is also this. Every time you scrub a mineral deposit without reversing the pH, you are compacting it. You are pressing the crystalline structure harder into the microscopic texture of the surface, giving it more mechanical grip. You are, in effect, setting the stain the way you set a nail by driving it deeper. You are not removing anything. You are anchoring it. The $9 foam spray is pH neutral or mildly alkaline. It cannot touch the deposit. It is, chemically speaking, pointing in exactly the wrong direction. The correct direction is acid. Mild, safe, inexpensive acid. And you already know the material I mean. Citric acid, sold in the canning and preserving section of most grocery stores, hardware stores, and pharmacies. White crystalline powder. It looks like fine sugar. A 500-gram bag costs under $2 in most places. It is the same acid found naturally in lemons and limes, extracted, dried, and sold in bulk for food preservation. It is mild enough that food manufacturers use it as a flavor additive. It is acid enough to dissolve the calcium carbonate bond that has been defeating your Saturday morning cleaning sessions for months. Here is the method, exactly as I use it. No shortcuts, no variation. Dry the surface first, not just mostly dry, fully dry. If the tub surface is wet when you apply the solution, you dilute it before it builds concentration. Wipe it down, wait 10 minutes, proceed. Dissolve 1 heaping tablespoon of citric acid powder into 1 cup of warm water. Stir until completely dissolved. The solution will be clear. That is correct. Soak several layers of paper towel or a folded cotton cloth in the solution until fully saturated. Lay the soaked material flat over the stained area and press it down for full contact. You are not scrubbing. You are applying contact time. The acid needs to sit against the mineral deposit long enough to work through the crystalline structure. Leave it alone. 45 minutes for light deposits, 2 hours for stains that have been building for months or years. Do not lift the cloth to check after 15 minutes. Walk away. Doing nothing is the correct action. Come back. Lift the cloth. Wipe gently with a damp, soft cloth. The deposit will come free. If a dense patch remains in one area, re-soak the cloth, reapply, wait another hour. It will release. Rinse the surface thoroughly with water when finished. Citric acid is mild, but you do not want it sitting against metal fittings or chrome for extended periods. Rinse everything the solution touched. The research supporting this is not anecdotal. A study published in the journal Desalination in 2011 found citric acid solutions effective at dissolving calcium carbonate scale at concentrations as low as 1% by weight, with contact times between 30 and 90 minutes at room temperature. The concentration produced by 1 tablespoon in 1 cup of water is roughly in that range. No elevated temperature required. No mechanical pressure required. Contact time and correct pH, that is the entire mechanism. The knowledge that fixes this problem costs $2 and has been available at the hardware store the entire time you were buying foam spray. The reason you did not know about it is worth understanding, because it is the same reason a lot of useful information never reaches you. There was a time when people who maintained surfaces understood what surfaces are made of. A tradesman working with enamel knew the chemistry of enamel. A craftsman maintaining stone tile understood how mineral behaved on porous versus sealed surfaces. That knowledge moved through apprenticeship, through correction on the job, through the kind of instruction my master gave me, which was often delivered as a flat look and the sound of him setting down a tool he expected me to have already known not to reach for. The knowledge was functional. It traveled because the trade required it. That transmission stops when the answer becomes a product on a shelf. When you can buy your way out of the problem, nobody needs to understand the problem. The question stops being asked. The knowledge stops being passed. Within a generation it is gone, not because someone took it, but because the convenience of not knowing it had a price tag attached, and the price seemed reasonable enough. The modern cleaning industry is not built on solving your problem once. It is built on you returning to the shelf. A $2 bag of citric acid, used correctly, removes the stain that the $9 foam spray cannot touch, and the bag will last you long enough that you will not need another one for the remainder of the year. There is no subscription in that. There is no repeat purchase, no reason to run an advertisement for it. So no advertisement runs. The products that receive shelf space, prominent placement, and television time are the ones that require you to buy again next month. The foam cleaner that cannot touch mineral deposit is not a failed product from the industry's point of view. It is a product that sends you back to the shelf. The fact that it does not solve your problem is, from a business perspective, not a flaw. There is no vault this information is kept in. No meeting where someone decided to hide it. Just a quiet arithmetic of what generates recurring revenue and what does not. Let me be straight with you now, because I would rather be honest than impressive. This method removes mineral deposit. That is its function. If your tub surface has been physically abraded by years of hard scrubbing, the mineral may lift and the surface roughness will remain, and it will restain faster than an intact surface because the microscopic texture gives new deposits more to grip. If that is your situation, you are looking at resurfacing, not cleaning. Citric acid will not fix mechanical damage. It will not remove rust staining. Orange-brown staining from iron in the water or from a corroding fitting is iron oxide. Different chemistry entirely requires a different approach. It will not remove dye transfer from colored products left on the surface. It addresses mineral. Know what you are dealing with before you set your expectations. And yes, if you want a commercial option, there are descaling products formulated with citric acid or phosphoric acid that will do the same work. They cost more. They are doing the same chemistry. You are paying for the label. Here's what you take with you. Dry the surface. 1 tablespoon citric acid, 1 cup warm water, stir until dissolved. Soak cloth, apply flat, press for contact. Walk away for 45 minutes minimum, 2 hours for heavy buildup. Wipe gently, rinse thoroughly. Do not scrub before. Do not add bleach. Do not heat the solution. Contact time is the tool. Everything else is wasted effort. The most expensive solution is usually the one that does not understand the problem. Next time, I am going to show you what my master called the only correct way to seal a freshly cleaned tub surface so that mineral cannot grip it in the first place. The material is already in most people's homes. Almost nobody uses it for this. I will show you what it does at the surface level and why 4 minutes of application after a citric acid clean extends the time between treatments significantly. Come back for that one.